I am not a gamer, but I have not been this excited about a video game since I played Portal and Portal 2 for the first time. And the fact that this is a Thomas & Friends game feels unreal.
So, how are you holding up? Because I'm a potato.
I can't believe this is real. And I really can't believe this game feels like it was made for someone like me. Someone who grew up with Thomas as a child, got back into Thomas as a teenager, and who just recently started a Thomas-related YouTube channel, with a few controversial views to say the least. About to say something very controversial in the Thomas fandom. I hated Edward's exploit as a kid.
I say we kill the beast!
I will try to keep this fairly brief, but I want to give my 2 cents on the upcoming video game Thomas & Friends Wonders of Sodor. There have been plenty of Thomas games before. My favorite childhood game was Thomas & Friends Railway Adventures.
Drive Thomas this way if you'd like to take important supplies to the airfield.
I won't rag on them for what they were, but they were definitely very simple and intended for younger children. To be fair, the pre-hit entertainment games did feel more complex than Hero of the Rails did.
Wash. Spray.
I've obviously never played this game before, but I have to say that this game is clearly intended for an older audience. There are 3 things that convince me this game is aimed at older fans, and I am so happy that it is. Exhibit A. In the trailer, they play the classic Thomas theme song, which I won't play here because of copyright reasons, but if you want to see, go check out the trailer yourself. The second point I want to bring up is the attention to real railway practice. Take a look at this clip for example. Thomas is going under a bridge and there is a sign that reads "Whistle" next to the tracks. In the very next shot, there is a signal which reads "Branch up." I'm not a railway expert by any means, but if this is anything to go by, that is very strong evidence that this is intended for older fans. The third thing that really stood out to me is the character designs. It's like they learned from the last 3 seasons of Thomas & Friends proper that they can include more realistic details on the characters while still having them look good and resemble the original designs. The world itself also looks fantastic, almost better visually than the show in both the model and CGI canons.
Superior sail power, Thomas, my lad!
I do have a lot of praise for this game, and all we saw so far are a few stills and some footage, but I do have one complaint so far, and that is having to purchase the premium edition of the game to get James. Why? James is one of my favorite characters, so for that reason alone I was not happy about it, but depending on the prices of the game, is it really fair to lock just one character behind the deluxe edition? If they included Edward at the very least as well, then I think they would be a bit more justified in that. Well, that is so far my only complaint. Assuming that I can afford it when it comes out, I will definitely grab a copy of this game on Steam, which brings me to my next point. This game is getting released on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation, just to name a few. Dovetail Games is really treating this game seriously, and I am so happy for it. And that's all I have to say about this game for now. It looks fantastic, and assuming I can afford it, and it works on my computer, I will get it. If you're an older Thomas fan who's been waiting for something like this for years, I think Thomas & Friends Wonders of Sodor might finally be it. And, as Woody said,
A moving buddy. You don't have one? Get one!